This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Healthcare professionals can lead their careers with LinkedIn. Discover jobs by specialty, preferred shifts, and even desired salary. From mental health therapists to radiology technicians, it's now faster and easier for healthcare professionals to find the right fit. Learn more at linkedin.com/healthcare. Side effects may include faster job placement, improved work-life balance, and increased career satisfaction.
Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
Hello, everyone. It's time for Vanished Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Costanis. This is episode 435, season 18. Today's date is May 20th, 2025. I'm sorry, I got a little distracted. And welcome to the show. On today's program, I will talk about the Flipside record stores. I think I talked about them before, but there's a different reason for this because I bought a book about the Flipside store. I will explain everything later on. Also, I'll talk about my memories of the Zenith Stereo Consoles. Those were like record players, but they were like furniture, like a console. So you open a door, and there you could put your records in or your records. And sometimes it had radios with them. So I'll talk about my memories about that. And that's a cool subject. Right now, the program will go into a commercial break. And this program is brought to you by Snick Snack. And it's a candy bar. And this is from the 1970s. I don't know what year it's from exactly. Maybe 75. Maybe earlier than that, 73, 74, 75, something like that. So just sit back and relax, and let's go back to the 70s for a little snack with Snick Snack. Okay. Yeah, I'll be right back with the rest of the show, folks. Thank you.
Take a break. Take a Snick Snack. Take a break. Take a Snick Snack.
Snick Snack Sticks. Light milk chocolate outside, light crisp cookie inside. The perfect break.
Take a break. Take a Snick Snack stick.
Take a break.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Snick Snack candy bar. That was from the 1970s. Let me give you a history of this. I sort of remembered this. The reason they created this candy bar is like they wanted to compete with the other one that is similar to that. It was Kit Kat, and it was made by Hershey. So the Mars company, the ones that make Milky Way, M&Ms, wanted to replicate that. And, it's eerily similar to this. I had it once, and long time ago. And, I don't really remember what it tastes like. I mean, it tasted like Kit Kat. Kit Kat's still around. The Snick Snack went bye-bye. And here's an ad from 1973. That's when it was introduced. I think it was. And it was pure milk chocolate outside, crisp like cookie inside. And it's sold in 6 bars like that. Same thing as Kit Kat, I believe. And so it's so Mars made it, and that only lasted about it was like in an orange wrapper. I remember that. Then they changed. Then then they changed the fonts on that, and so then they discontinued this in 1979, but I found the commercial. Thank goodness for that. There are two of them. So it's just like Kit Kat, but now Kit Kat comes in different flavors. They have one in mint chocolate, which is good. I love that. That's delicious. Okay. So another candy bar that went bye-bye in the 70s, just like the Marathon bar, which we all wish would come back. Okay. At the beginning of the program, I mentioned I'm going to talk about the Flipside Record Store. It was a chain in the Chicagoland area. Also, I'll talk about my memories of the Zenith Stereo Console. It was like a record player, in furniture, that is. But before I get started, I want to mention my health. I went to get my chemo done yesterday. This is the second round of the second one. It went well. I don't feel any different. I spoke to my oncologist. He says, well, I have good news for you. Your blood work is good. Your white count is fine. Your glucose is still going down. Your calcium's going down. So that's great news. And as for the PSA, it went up about 8 points. It's still very high. So I don't know what he's going to say next month in June 9th. That's the next one. So, but he did mention that if it doesn't go down, then he's going to stop this. And we're going to try Pluvito. I'm sure you've seen this advertised on TV a lot. It is not chemo. It's like a radiation. And it's, I've heard great things about that. This might work. My cancer's stubborn. I don't know why, but there's some lesions in my pelvis. But I told him my left pelvis hurt for a little while last week, and so I took Tylenol, and I took it for a couple of days, and I told my doctor this, and he says, "Oh, that's fine." So it's maybe you strained it, like stretched it or like that, or I don't know. It could be the lesions. I have no idea, but I'm not in pain anymore, so that's good. Next doctor's appointment, I'm going to see my urologist for a follow-up of the operation. That will be May 29th. So we'll see what happens. I hope this works, the second one. They said yes, but so we'll see what happens like that. And then, you heard the news about former President Joe Biden. He got prostate cancer. Oh, that's awful. I asked the doctor about this. Well, no, I didn't ask him. He brought it up, and he said, well, the one thing, you're 20 years younger than him. We had the same Gleason score. So let's see. So I forgot what I was going to say. Yes. So he says, you have the same Gleason score, but the thing is I don't think he had surgery. No, I did. I had it, and my Gleason score probably changed. I forgot to ask him that. So at his age, him spread to the bones, and I don't know how far or how long, or I have no idea. But he's going to get treatments, hormonal treatments like I did. So we'll see. I wish him the best of luck. He's in my prayers. He's a nice man. So no one deserves this. Nobody, even people you don't like, they don't deserve this. No. I hate that. I really hate it. All right. Not at the beginning. So right now I'm going to talk about the Flipside Record Store. Now, they opened in 1968. I'm not sure about the address. It was on Foster Avenue on the north side. I think it was right across the street from North Park College. And I think it was 3344 or 3433, something like that. I forgot. And it was owned by two brothers named Carl and Larry Rosenbaum. And like I said, they opened in 1968. Then they expanded. They opened a second store in Winnetka, I believe. I think it's Winnetka or Wilmette. I read the book and I forgot. So that didn't do very well. It was open for a while, but then they opened a bigger one in Hoffman Estates, and that one was very successful. And then they branched out and they moved. They opened more stores, mostly not in the city, mostly in the suburbs. The funny thing is, they didn't open on the south side. The nearest one by my house would have been Berwyn, right near Fitzgerald's. So they sold records, vinyl, and they started slowly and surely, got very popular, and then they got involved with concerts, promotions. They did that. Those guys attended concerts that were like that. Anyway, so that lasted until 1995. According to the book, which I bought, I'll get to that in a moment, they said that Best Buy killed them. Well, I don't know. I guess they did. That's what they said, so. And then they closed them down, and but it was a very, they had some musical acts that did appear at the stores, like, for example, Debbie Boone. They had Tommy Shaw from Styx. As an interesting story about him. So who else? Like Ozzy Osbourne. I think Ozzy Osbourne was at the Huffman Estate store. Yeah, I think so. Or Downers Grove. They opened another one in Downers Grove, and that was very successful as well. It was on Butterfield and Findlay, like that. So, Sunday, they had the record and CD, what's it called? A convention or something, or they had they sold LPs, 45s, a lot of vinyl, cassette tapes. I think I saw 8 tracks, but who has an 8-track player now? I used to have one. And anyway, I look around, it wasn't very big, it looked very interesting. I look at the album covers, I did some browsing, and then I met Larry Rosenbaum, one of the owners, and there was Jim Samaria, as his name. He wrote the other book, The Rock Concerts of the 1970s. I bought that book. It's a fabulous book. And so I saw him again, and we talked. And then there was next to him was Larry Rosenbaum, and he was selling The Flip Side, where Chicago Rock, that was the name of the book. Him and his brother Carl wrote that. And I talked to Larry, very nice man, and he signed it for me. He autographed it, and that was very sweet. That was very nice. I stayed a little bit longer, and then I left. I was very tired, and then I went home, and then right away I read the book. And I couldn't put it down. And I finished it within a day. And it was very interesting. They explained the genesis of the store. And then let's see what else. And they list the name of the locations of the store. Lots of pictures. They had a van, the Flipside van. There's pictures of celebrities. They explained about the concerts. They got much detail. There was like some legal issues. A lot of them. That happens like that. And it was a cool book. I recommend it. Yeah, you could buy it on Amazon, or if you're somewhere, if they have a signing, you can go there and buy a book and talk to either Larry. I think Carl lives in Arizona. That's what he said. So I read the book. It's a very good book. I love history like that. I love it. I wish more like that. Also, like I said before, some people suggest I write a book. I might do that someday. I want to wait till I'm done with the treatments and get it over with. So, that's crazy. It really is like that. Anyway, so I recommend it. I really do. And I belong to a Facebook group called Flipside Freaks, and they have a lot of old photos, vintage photos, and they talk about the stores. I think they're former employees in the group. Also in the book, they mentioned there's memories from the Rosenbaum family, the relatives, and also former employees. One person that was involved was Jeffrey Schwartz. He was a DJ, I think at WDAI, or WLS, and he did the promotion. And I don't know if he worked there. Probably not. So he was involved with that. Yeah, so it was kind of cool. That was a fun time. Okay. Right now, I'm going to play a commercial. This is from 1968. It is the Zenith Stereo Console. Okay. When the commercial is over, when I come back, I will explain the history of this and my memories of the Zenith Stereo Console. So sit back and relax. Let's go back to the 1960s for the commercial of Zenith Stereo Console. Thank you.
Halliday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Halliday. Halliday, bring it on.
Oh, no, it's not. That record isn't ruined. Don't believe me? See, the music's unharmed. This is Zenith's remarkable Micro-Touch 2G tone arm. Because the needle floats within the tone arm, you can drop it, even slide it. It's impossible to accidentally ruin your records on Zenith Stereo. In fact, the needle pressure is so light, your records last far longer on a Zenith. And you get the greatest stereo separation in a complete home console. And now, another new stereo achievement from Zenith. The solid-state 240W amplifier with an amazing 240 watts of peak music power. To bring you the most spectacular stereo sound ever heard from a complete home console. Exclusively at Zenith dealers in a selection of fine furniture cabinetry. At Zenith, the quality goes in before the name goes on.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Zenith Stereo Console from 1968. I found a history of this. The stereo Zenith Stereo Console history. Excuse me. I found this in a website. Zenith started back in 1918. They started the radio. And it was called first it was called Chicago Radio Labs, and then they changed it to Zenith Radio Company. I don't know when exactly the stereo consoles were introduced, but probably in the 50s and the 60s, but they weren't like the big ones, like in the late 60s and the 70s, like everyone had them in their homes like that. And what they were large furniture-like cabinets that typically house a radio tuner, a turntable for vinyl records, and sometimes a tape deck. Okay. Maybe I have a feeling they probably put cassettes later, or maybe 8-tracks. That's what I'm thinking. And they introduced two models called one, the Circle of Sound series, and the Allegro series. Now, the Allegro, I remember that from the 70s, and it was like speakers, and the consoles were renowned for their solid construction, often made by high-quality woods, incorporating visually appealing design elements that made them as much as a piece of home decor as an audio device. That's pretty good. So the Circle of Sound was introduced in the mid-1960s, and it featured AM stereo receiver, a record player, and speakers to produce a circle of sound. And it was very popular for its design and high-quality sound. Now, the Allegro, that was introduced in 1970s, and it was featured had the same things, but the difference was they had an AM/FM stereo receiver, a record player, and later models had an 8-track and tape player. And the Allegro series was remembered for its wedge-shaped speakers to create a wide stereo image. That's probably nice. So believe it or not, the 8-track tape player was very popular in the 70s. You can understand that. And then it changed. And then in the 1980s, the CDs were introduced like that, compact disc, and then it changed. So, and then they didn't make them anymore. I think they stopped like in the 90s, maybe late 80s or early 90s. But, my memories of that, I remember visiting homes, like friends of my mom's. We went there, and I was fascinated by their console. And I always asked, is that a console? Is that a stereo console? They said, yeah. And then, and I asked them, can I open it and take a look at it? And they said, yes. I did. I didn't touch anything, I didn't touch the records. I just opened the door and I looked at the turntable, and I saw the vinyl records and the 8-tracks and the tapes, like that. I don't think it made cassettes. I don't know. Maybe. I think I said that, but I don't think so. But, the wood was beautiful. The woodwork, it looked beautiful. And it looked so gorgeous in your living room like that. I don't think you'll have them in your house. I don't know, people's homes have that anymore. So, no. But it was a piece of furniture. It was a very standard piece of furniture in your living room. You have your television set and you have your stereo. That's how it was back then. We still have TV, but music is more compact. We have, it's digital now. We listen to Apple Music or YouTube. We had the iPads. Now they're gone. So that was that. So that's a shame. I remember the commercials they had for stereo consoles. They would show that. Record albums, vinyl is they made, it died off, but then they made a comeback, and it's still popular as ever. People want to play records on a record player. I can understand that. I used to have one, and I had vinyl records. I think I have some of them still like that. But we never had a stereo console. No, we never had that. We had record players, portable ones. And I think we bought like a portable, not a portable, like a small one. I don't know where we bought this. Polk Brothers, I'm thinking. I don't remember. I got to ask my brothers. They probably remember that. So, as for Zenith, it's gone. They made wonderful TVs, radios, Chromacolor 2, which I remember. It was a good product made here. Good, sturdy product. Okay. So that's it for this show. I'll do a recap what I talked about. I talked about the Flipside record stores that were located in the Chicagoland area, and I bought the book. Now, please, the book is available through Amazon or anywhere. If you check online, you can click on a link. It'll take you right there. I highly recommend it. And it was written by the Rosenbaum brothers, Carl and Larry. Also, I talk about the Zenith Stereo Console that was very popular in the 1960s and the 1970s. It was like a furniture type record player. And I think I did mention the memories. I'm sorry I'm in a hurry, but I think I got an interview at 2 o'clock. I got a video interview. All right. This podcast will be published later on today, wherever podcasts are found: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Breaker, Overcast, Good Pods. What's the other one? And then, I'm sorry, I had to read my phone. I got a message. And let's see what else. And iHeartRadio. Also be uploaded on my blog, vanishchicagoland.blog. You can go to that blog. You can enter your email and you can subscribe, get notifications of the latest episode, I believe. The other episodes are listed as well. Also be on my YouTube channel. And again, people always ask me, where do I find your podcast? Where do I find your podcast? You can find it on YouTube. Type in, search Vanish Chicagoland Stories, or my name, Pete Costanas. You can tap on subscribe. You'll receive a notification of the latest episode. You can listen to previous episodes if you like. Oh, and on the apps that I mentioned, if you tap on them, tap follow, you receive a notification of the latest episodes, and all the episodes are listed. Also, be shared on my social media accounts: Facebook, X, LinkedIn, Reddit, Blue Sky, Threads, TikTok, and what's the other one? I can't think of the other one. It'll come to me. It's Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram. and, of course, TikTok. So it's TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads. Got them. Okay, I will probably do another podcast episode this weekend. We'll see about that. I'm sorry I'm doing this a little late. I usually do it in the morning, but something came up. So this is Pete Costanis, your host for Vanishing Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. Thank you for joining me. You are wonderful. Today is a cold, cloudy day. Hopefully it'll be like that all week. It's unusual. And so just enjoy the rest of your day. And so I'll see you next time. And here's bye-bye for me. And here's a little traveling music from our wonderful guy and Chicago legend, Ray Rayner, with saying bye, bye, bye. Take care, everyone, and so long.
We have to go. Bye, bye, bye.